So don't worry, we really still gonna shoot from the same place. So you don't need to worry about anything. We're gonna shoot from the same place. Yeah. So let's. Yeah, I think it was a VPN. There's something I was. There's something. There was a VPN that must have gotten my session off. Yeah, I'm sure guys should be able to divert to this because the software I'm using automatically syncs with another one right away. So I think I've tried to share them a link to this one here. I hope they see it anyway. The software I'm using automatically syncs. Yeah, but do not worry. I'll compress this all together. So no worries about that. That was a VPN. Yeah, I've sent a link in the previous stream so that people can just jump away and just get here like in a flash. Yeah, you know. Yeah, so we're gonna be picking up from where we left off from. So you don't have to worry about anything. You're gonna be picking up from there. No need to worry about anything. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is good within the stream. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, yeah. So can see some people are trying to join, which is good. Yeah, so I guess we should be fine now. Yeah, I was just trying to configure this session to be sure that the stream is perfect. Yeah, sure. It was a VPN. It was a VPN. You know that Facebook is limited in some area unless if you have a VPN. So the VPN went off, and you know how the tunneling works. It affected the stream right away from there. So I'll not be putting it on. I'll not putting it on. So I'll put it off, and just a few people I think can have figured out that they can join the stream from this one here. So just a few people. Yeah. Let's hope they really figure this out. Yeah, you can see. I guess some people wrote to me back an email. Yeah, but let me share the screen. We're gonna be pushing right from there, just to be. Yeah. So yeah, people are coming back. I can see. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So hope you've written that little code right there. Let me try to reshare. Push the new link to them. Literally same thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they're gonna check in the channel. They're gonna be like, what's going on here? And they're gonna be coming back right now. Yeah, I'll not really enable that VPN again. Really. Yeah, so as you write that little code right there, so most of them are coming back, so should really be flexible for everybody to get back here. And that's why we should be within the WhatsApp group of this particular uh, coding sections because it makes life quick. I can easily share the link and I'm like, hey, this is where we are. So it makes it so easy to get on. So I've shared it everywhere. I need to just push it on videos again. So anyway, as you write all the code, can you give me some of your experience in the charts? How are you finding the sessions and how is everything feeling? Just to get your feel. Let me do. Sorry, it's coming back, so don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry. The share is coming back. I just want to share one window. Yeah, so that I can send an email. Yeah, Deng, you're saying that if I can reschedule the session, yeah, I've already done that, and we're having a new session. So this is a new session, still moving on. I just didn't want to lose the flow, so that somebody just gets from the other and just comes to this one straight away. So yeah, so we are now proceeding, and I'm going to share. If you pick the link via email, so I'm gonna be making a response within the same section for people to pick it up from there straight away. So that's what I'm doing right now. As you get that code within your coding area, so it should be enough break for you to pick up that. So if you're streaming from other platforms, so you can basically see the code that is on your screen. We giving you a little bit of time to write that simple code, and then I'm gonna show you the result because that's when the network jumped off actually, and when we're at that particular time. So I'm very confident that
Your platform
yeah.
so you can
So you can just copy the code and work with it in your laptop, and then you can even run it before I come back to you, and everything should really be perfect, fine. Um, yeah, so I'm resharing the link, the new link to everybody. Yeah, should now be perfect. So they should be coming back in a few. I just shared it. It's now perfect. Yeah, so now I can put in my email and focus on you. Yeah, yeah. Uh, the good thing is what we're covering in this session. Even in the coming session, there's gonna be a revision, and then we get it together. Uh, you know, Yeah, so I can see Monster back already. So in the previous, I think we had reached 50 something. Yeah, I can see numbers are shooting high again, which is really perfect. So nothing to worry about. So now let me share my entire screen so that I can show you the results. If you run the code, we're going to run it and then we shall go and tackle the real gist, which I don't want to miss. Give a few hints on the gist and then, yeah, we shall have an interesting shuffle from right there. Yeah. Yeah, most cases, when you're using your computer to do quite a lot of things, yeah, that's gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, so let's proceed. Yeah, for me to show you the results of this particular um, here code. So basically, after you write this code properly, like I told you, you're now bringing in data science within the actual simple coding that you're doing, and later you'll be getting it right on the integration of the first project, the second project. So the good thing, we hadn't gone to that, we hadn't gone to that. So yeah, so it's really perfect that I can now close through this particular. I can close through this particular and everything is good. So when you run this, this is where I was celebrating and I was saying that, yeah, so this is what you see. So, and I was telling you that there are so many corporate companies I'm doing this kind of work for. I'm actually developing for them visualizations, and they're including these visualizations within their presentation, which is making life so easy for them. It's making life so easy for them because, they have been struggling with Excel and all those different things. Now, imagine how long it will take you to create this in Excel, and Python it was like 2 3 minutes, seconds, not even minutes, and you have it already, and you can put it in your presentation. And when you get time to look at some of my presentation, I do a lot of this in my presentations, and people wonder why are presentations so smart and good. It's because I'm using my skills for the better to create a lot of amazing things. Yeah, so I'm really happy that most of people are back. So text in the chat if you're back and you're streaming. Just text in the chat and say you're back, and help me share the link still all over to your friends so that they can join. We still have an hour to get things down. So we have an hour to get things down. So they should be really back and here. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So hope you can see how amazing it is. And you can create quite a number of things, quite a number of things you can create. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm now going to be moving to creation of classes, and I'm going to start with the first project that we tackled. I'm going to start with the agriculture produce project, and then I'll go to the solar energy usage. So basically, we may tackle one today, agriculture produce, and then in the next session, we get to tackle the solar energy usage, which will be tomorrow. And I told you tomorrow the stream might happen at 8 p.m. because I'm having a lot of engagements with different innovation groups from different countries at the center where I'm running. So a lot of that is going to be happening at the other side. So Jude, good to really have you back here. Magezi, good to really have you back here, and I'm happy that you figured it out. I mentioned before that it was a VPN. It was a VPN running on my other system that went off, and it so happened to change the IP address, and therefore I had to go off. And I'm very sure you understand that technical thing. So I'll not do that mistake again because it really killed the entire stream the way I wanted it to be, which is okay. The good thing you're back here, and the good thing everyone is back. So that's great. So we are now going to start on the agriculture produce. Then we shall tackle the solar energy usage, and then we shall do the integration. So what I mentioned before is that when you run this particular code, this simple code here, just this one here, where you have lists of data, this data, you have this data. If you run it, it's gonna give you this visualization out. So that's how beautiful everything happens, you know. That is how easy everything is. It's just so easy, just so easy. And I mentioned before that this is where I find peace. This is where I find happiness when I'm doing programming and I'm mentoring people to do programming. I feel really happy because I'm speaking things out of my experience, and you guys are lucky because I'm having a combination of programming, networks, um, data science, AI, machine learning. You know, so you guys are lucky, very very lucky. Yeah, so I'm letting other people know. Someone was asking me, so I'm telling them please join um, and share to your friends too. And yeah, yeah. So anyway, not everyone is really good technically, so that's why I had to share them another link because most of them have just come to the university and they are still getting things right, which is the same with everybody of us. Everybody. Let me put it down here so that you can see the code. Yeah, which is the same. All of us got to get a laptop in our hands late. If you got it early, then you're lucky. But you know, most of us we got it late, and when people look at us today, they be like, it feels like you're born with a laptop. But trust me, it wasn't the case. It was really different. Yeah. So I've tried to reshare it all around again to the people that I invited on today's stream, so that we just proceed from here. So we're gonna be tackling the other two. Be ready for that ride because it's gonna be a serious ride into classes and functions. Yeah, so just be ready for it. I want to say that I appreciate you all that are making time to be part of this because this is gonna be better, and you're now getting to be part of my family. Um, and so many opportunities are within my circle that you're gonna benefit from. So I encourage you to be part of all streams. Call your friends to be part of the stream. Share with your friends. If you're in university, share with your classmates. Let them come and also benefit from these sessions. Yeah, just like I do always, and just like I'm doing right now to make sure everybody's back on the stream before I can kick it further. But I think I'm done with this activity and everything should be now spontaneous. Okay, so now we are done with this and I'm gonna be closing it right now with that. So I'm gonna chill session 3. So now I'm gonna be taking you right where I want you to be. That's where I'm gonna be taking you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now let me see what. So we're gonna be starting with the farm, with the agriculture produce. Yeah, yeah. I just keep on looking at some of the comments people are bringing in, and that's why. Yeah. So I think it was session 1. It was session 1. Yeah, it was session 1. But what I'm gonna do right now, I'm going to just create a new file. So this is how we create a new file. We basically click that. I'm gonna call this agricultural agricultural produce. I don't want to kill the other sessions. Let me just leave them there and just do .py and just have a fresh window. So fresh window, agriculture produce. So I've just created this agriculture produce. So hope everybody can see that. Let me increase my screen, and I'm going to be locking this right now, so that I have only this window, and then we start writing our code right there. Yeah, so Judy is saying, my pleasure, sir. Great programmer. I'm deeply enjoying the session. Agriculture produces my enterprise. Amazing, amazing. You know, no much words can explain how happy I am to see that, because Achilles Akesho is fighting so hard to enact skills into the youth to see that we can develop solutions for the agriculture sector. So seeing you in that sector, I'm really pleased. I'm really happy. So let's go down. You're free to share this session to everybody you have in your space. Could be relatives and everybody. It's for the public. It's for everybody in Africa, everybody in Europe. So just share it. Let people learn how to program and solve problems easily. And even if you're a company owner, it will really help you to see that when you have developers, you know how to work with the developers. You know how to work with them. You know. Okay, so I've just put for you this here because I've closed here, so that's why I've put it here. But I would use this space to let's create a class, a class called agriculture. We're gonna call it agriculture produce. So you can notice that when I'm writing my class, I don't put, this is not a small letter. This is a capital letter. So let me do it here. So classes in Python, we do class, and then you put the class name, and you make sure that you start with a capital letter. So it's agricultural, agricultural produce, agricultural produce. Yeah. So agriculture produce. So that's how we write a class. So, oh, you could do this agriculture produce. So you can also do that, and it will work for you, whatever you want, provided you put an underscore. So that's when it will work for you. So this is gonna be produce right there, produce. So that's how we write a class, and then after writing a class, we write a function. So we're gonna write a function, and then when we're writing a function, we do this initialization. And in most cases, if you click, it's going to give you all that and put a pass for you here. This is acceptable in Python. It basically will ignore. The moment it runs this function, it will come and ignore if you don't have anything here. So, but we want to have some data inside here. And using the word self, self basically refers back to the class. It's more like this function is under a particular class, and it goes back to recognize that particular class, if you can get that right from me. So we're gonna have some data like type of produce, and then we're gonna have the price. Let's say price per unit, because we don't know. So we can say price per unit. So we can say price per unit in here. So we can have that price per unit. So I'm going to just reshare. Somebody has sent me a message to share the link to them. So I'm going to just share this window so that you can see the code as I do that. I understand how it feels. But anyway, just write what I've written, and within 1 second, I'll be done with what this person has asked me to do for them real quick. It's going to take just a second, and I'll be done with it. Project 2. Yeah, he basically wanted me to get something. Okay, yeah, so I've got a name. Da, 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 da. Okay, to the new project. Yeah, in most cases, things may not come so perfect like right away to you, but I promise you, the more you do them, the more they're gonna come to you like immediately, like so easy. You know, they're gonna come to you so easy. So you just have to do it over and over again. You know, just have to do it over and over again. Yeah. 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 Anyway, he wanted me to just put the links so that if somebody can easily just get to know where we are immediately. Yeah. So, and I think I'm done with doing that. So, um, just accessing our current live session and giving you that link. Yeah. This is amazing. I like this. Yeah. Hmm. Just imagine we do programming every day. How great you're gonna be by the end of the year. You're gonna be so good, you know. Gonna be so super good. Yeah. So I called this project three part two in the link. Um, yeah, so that it's clear and it doesn't really kill the flow. I think it's perfect. Okay, so I think I'm good. I'm good with that. So part two. Yeah, so now we can proceed with our session. I can now go back to my writing area. Yeah, it's now perfect. Yeah, it's now good. Yeah, you can see that change in the description below. So I incorporated the description and also the link to the current part three, um, so that when somebody comes, they can easily join us right away. Yeah, without any kind of disturbance. Yeah. Yeah, if you use Git a lot, you'll actually find life so easy. So those two tools should really be able to help you really well. Um, so you should really use them so well in almost everything. You should be able to use them. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're about to resume. Just making sure everything is fine on all platforms. So that we don't have any distractions. Mm, okay. Yeah, I had put a different link, you know. Yeah, it's now perfect. It's now really perfect. Yeah, I'd confused the links there somehow. It should be very perfect. Okay, so I guess you've had enough break with me fixing those different things. That's what happens in programming. Has a lot of checks. Just make sure everything is fine. Okay, great. So let me remove this here. So you'll notice that the moment you put this particular tag, it's called um, you put this particular block and you click, you'll actually come to this line, but you'll not be here or here. So you can notice the transition there too. So make sure that you have these so that you come right here. So let me do some bit of commenting so that when you're reviewing everything is clear. So I'll use this commenting string. Oops, what happened with me? Okay, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. One, two, three. Yeah, it had gotten to generate doc strings as if I asked it for it to do that. Okay, great. So this particular function, it basically initializes an instance. I'm trying to explain it of agricultural agricultural produce, and with with the type and price, with the type and price per unit, price per unit. Okay, so now we're gonna proceed. So we need to get a type. I need to mute the type of produce. Need to get a type of produce. So this is gonna be the type of agriculture produce. So we need to get this when you're writing code. So the type of produce and type of produce. So this is gonna be the type of agricultural produce. So for example, the type of agricultural produce here, for example, could be maize or could be beans. So yeah, so any of these. So this is that's what we're gonna do first. Let me see the PowerPoint. Um okay. So yeah, so the next one, we're gonna do. So in most cases, when you're programming, you don't have to be so serious with yourself. Some people might be like, you don't have to be. It will get so boring for you. So we're gonna handle the price per unit. So the price per unit here, basically this is gonna be the price per unit of the produce. The price. Yeah, it's okay. I know I love to joke a lot, so I was gonna bring up another joke. I better not. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do first. So we've already initialized an instance of agriculture produce with a type and the price per unit. Yeah. From here we going to now bring in the type of the produce, which is a type of the agriculture produce, which could be maize and beans. And then we're going to bring in the price per unit of the produce. So how do we do that? So we need to use the word self. This word here, we need to use it. So we need to do self dot all these that you put inside there. So self dot the type. Those are parameters, by the way. Type of produce. I'm trying to be very slow. Type produce. Okay, right there. Produce and I'm using a separate keyboard because I'm using my laptop cam, so I'm a little bit distant. So yeah, so it's not my usual keyboard. So this is gonna be type of produce basically. So you just do self dot initialization dot produce da, da, da. So these are belonging to this particular class. So when you use the word self, so self dot price per unit, type of produce, then price per unit. Yeah, price. Why is it not coming for me? I hate writing words and I finish them per unit. Per unit. So this is going to be equal to price per unit. Yeah, I think it's all done. So that's the initialization. We only have two parameters. So we've initialized the two parameters right there, as you can see. So you can do the same thing. That's how we initialize the two parameters. And these ones are gonna take in the type of produce like maize, beans, rice, etc. Then also the price per unit is gonna be taken in there. So feel free to ask me anything. Feel free to ask me via the chat. I keep on checking it every minute to be sure that I don't leave you behind, and also to be sure that I'm loud and clear. So if you can hear me clearly, please type in the chat and tell me that I'm loud and clear to be sure that you can hear me. So now we can bring in the element of quantity. Now, in most cases, you need to initialize things like quantity back to zero, so that when you set, so that you set it afresh that this is the quantity, to avoid some infinite loops. So we can do self dot quantity. So we are setting it to zero. So we are setting it to zero initially. So basically, I'll say initialize. I said English is not my first language, so initialize quantity to zero, basically to help you remember, and also the people who English is not their first language to understand what I'm doing as we move forward. Okay, so the next part is going to be, you can notice now I'm going to click backspace and I align with the function, the line to the function. So we're now going to set the quantity. We are going to set the quantity. We're basically going to write a little bit of logic about the quantity. Anyway, let me put a comment to explain it to you. Let's have a function. This is setting the quantity, and I'm going to explain the logic and what it means. So we have quantity. Remember, we didn't set it here in the parameters section up here. We are going to set it down here. We already set it equal to zero here, so it should be able to communicate with it. So when we do self, we can also set it here. It is also very fine, but let's just have it here. So that we write its logic in the function. So quantity. So now we need to set it. So before setting it, let me just do my commenting. Yeah, it's the dock screen that keeps me laughing. Yeah, but anyway, so this one here sets the quantity. This English quantity. So we set the quantity of the produce. We're setting the quantity of the produce, and we basically ensuring that it is a positive value. Remember what we did before, so it needs to be a positive value. We can make it raise an error. We need to do that. We can do that validation. If you remember, what I'm trying to talk about is, you remember what we did here. Wanted to return a float, and we say that if value is less than zero, then you need to put please enter a positive number. So this is more of validation, to be not to take in negative numbers, because honestly, you can't have a quantity that is negative. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So yeah. So what else can we do here? Now we're gonna set. We're gonna check. We're gonna check. So this is within still the comment section. I'm still commenting. I'm still figuring out the algorithm. So the quantity, we're going to check, we're going to see that the quantity of the produce is set. Okay, great. And what else can we do? We're going to raise an error in case, let's say, raises value error. Why? Let's say that if the quantity is not positive, so it can tell us that it has to be positive. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do right here. We already did this in the first session, so it should really resonate with you. So we're gonna say that if the quantity, um, let's say if the quantity is greater than zero, oops, that's greater than zero, which we should expect. That means it should set self.quantity should be equals to quantity. So this should be fine. However, which is else? That's why I said Python is like English. However, if it's not true, then it has to raise a value error for us. And what value error should that be? It should say that um, quantity, quantity, it should say that quantity must be positive. Yeah, so that's what it should say. Okay, so hope we are together. Hope everything is good right there. Uh, okay, so you can hear me, but the volume is a little bit low. Yeah, I think yeah, it should be really back. You can try to check your device, but according to me, I think it should be good. Really, should be good. I'm using a sound card and everything should be good. And the mic is close. I can stretch it a little bit. Yeah, right there. So you can tell me how it feels right now. Can you hear me very well now? You can just let me know on that so that I'm sure you can now hear me. Only that when I twist away a little bit, yeah, there's that bit of flow, there's that bit of change in my voice. Yeah, but so this is where we are. This is where we are. And also, I'm trying to refresh the screen as much as possible to see the current feed and also to be sure that everything is good. So you need to give me those hearts. I love to see them flying as we proceed. They give me energy. Yeah, but on the sad face, there is this very sad one, that one there. I don't like it. This one here, it's my favorite. Okay, okay, so let's proceed. So we've raised that error. So everything should be good now. Now we're very sure that whatever we're going to enter here, it's going to be a positive value and it's not going to be a negative value. So it's going to be positive. So now let's go ahead and calculate the revenue. Let's go ahead and calculate the revenue. So make sure you can take screenshots, you can take a picture, you know, whatever, so that when I scroll up a little bit, I don't really leave you behind. I don't want to split my screen. Not a fan of this splitting of screens. I'm not a fan of splitting screens. Yeah, great. Okay, so I guess this is where we were. Okay, let me see. So we said that we need to calculate the revenue. So we're going to write the function for the revenue. Now, if you remember in the first one, in the first session we set our figures here locally, and then we wrote our validation function here, not to get values that are negative and etc. And then we wrote function def main, and then we served it with the basic inputs and output operations. So anyway, this was something super for you to know, and now we're now going to the next level. We're now moving to the advanced level. So we're now moving to the advanced level, and we're now gonna do things much more better. Yeah, that's a great feedback that I'm more audible. Thank you. I'll try to improve as we move forward. Okay, so now let's calculate the revenue in a more stylish way, more professional way. So calculate revenue. So we write our, so remember I told you that you either write it like this or you can put revenue like that. You put a capital letter after one word. So now let me use the underscore this time around, revenue. Remember I told you that this session is having beginners, having professionals, intermediary, so all classes, and I'm trying to balance the boat as we move forward. As people say it, I'm balancing the boat. So I'm using commenting because it's a very good practice, and very many developers don't like to do this, and it gets to cost them. And it has always been an issue when I'm working with them, and like, guys, where did you learn programming from? So they make you wonder. Yeah, but most of them are self-taught. So yeah. So anyway, the calculate revenue basically calculates the total revenue. Total calculates the total revenue from selling the produce. Yeah, I appreciate everybody who is watching from LinkedIn. I can see quite a number of you. I really appreciate it. And the reason why I appreciate it is because I love giving back to the community, especially when it comes to my skills. And the greatest thing you can do as a payback is for you to learn and one day say, I learned from that particular project. So you can like this particular video, you can share it to your friends, and you can also subscribe on YouTube if you can. I would really appreciate it. Total revenue calculated, we're going to calculate it as price per unit, like we said. And price per unit, total revenue, price per unit multiplied by the quantity. So that if we have to, yeah. So that's the mathematics. I believe everybody did this simple kind of, commerce business. I don't know, mathematics. Yeah. So anyway, so this is what we're gonna have, and what we want to return after running our function. When we run calculate revenue, we want to basically return. We want to return self dot. We want to return self price per unit. We said price per unit times the quantity. Because if you know, for example, if they tell you that quantity, if they told you that 1 kilo of maize costs 5,000 shillings or 10,000 shillings, then they ask you how much will 5 kilos of maize cost. You basically have to just get the price for 1 kilo, which is unit, then you multiply by the quantity, which is 5 or 10, and the answer you get is what we're looking for at the end of the day. The price, the cost of the different the kilograms. So it's basically the total revenue, the revenue for that particular kind of produce. So that's what we're looking for. That's the interpretation for those who didn't do business or didn't like business like me. I didn't like business when I don't know. I think I've always loved business, so I don't want to sell myself out awkwardly. I've always loved business. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I think we are done with this here. So just basically to make sure that I don't have errors. So everything runs properly. So this is fine. Yeah. So what else do we want to do here? What else do we want to do? Okay. So agricultural produce. Da 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 da. So we can also yeah. So this is what we have. I'm thinking of what we can do next here. Anyway, we can stop this one here, right here. Yeah, great. So that's agricultural produce. So let's create another file here, and let's call it solar energy usage. So now this one is for the session 2. So the solar energy usage.py. So this is what I called writing things from scratch or getting everything from scratch. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna write this one too, and we'll see what we can have, at the end of the day. So like I mentioned, feel free to write in the comment sections everywhere you're streaming from, and I'll be able to see your feeds with whatever you're saying. I appreciate everyone watching from YouTube, watching from Twitch, watching from LinkedIn, X. Um, I really appreciate you all who are watching from all the different streaming platforms. Yeah. Okay. So let's move forward. Yeah. So let's deal with the solar. So I just wanted to do it immediately so that you see that we are writing the same thing and you can handle different programs the same way. So we're going to have a class which we're going to call solar energy. So before that, let me write a comment. Uh, Let me just put start with a class. Start with a class. Yeah, called let's call it solar energy, solar energy usage. Yeah, let's call it that. Okay, now let's write our class just like we did before. So we're gonna do a class. Now remember, the class name starts with a capital letter, and you, if you want to write more than one word, then it has to be capital letter all over. So not those things that I'm writing, but solar energy usage. Yeah, I had a freeze of my keyboard. Yeah, so since it's a class, that's what you write. So energy usage, and this time around, we go down and write our function, and we initialize. So we're gonna have it like that. But now I'll remove that, and then I'll add a few comments. Basically, um, I'll add a few comments for anyone to understand what we're doing. So this initializes an instance of solar energy solar energy usage. Solar energy usage. My keyboard has changed. It's not lighting anymore. So energy usage. Basically, we want to track uh, the daily energy data. Energy data. So yeah. So right there. If you hate Apars, I don't know, but I love his music, so that's why you can hear it in the background a little bit. Yeah, but okay, so let me see. Yeah, so that's perfect. Yeah, so let's now write. Let's do some bit of the next part, initialization. So we're gonna write lists. So the reason why I have not put any data here is because I want to introduce lists to you. So we're gonna have a list of daily energy generated, and then we're gonna have a list of daily energy consumed. So we're gonna store data there. So it's gonna store the daily energy generated, and also the other one is gonna store the daily energy consumed. So okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do self dot daily. Sorry about that. Self dot daily uh, self daily energy generated. Okay, generated. So here we're gonna have lists, and let me add a comment just to put some bit of energy on this. Where is my hash? It's right here. Okay, so let me add a comment onto this. Basically, list to store daily energy generated. Okay, so we're gonna have another one, self dot daily instead of generated, it's gonna be consumed. It's gonna be equals to a list. Then we can have say a list to store daily energy consumed. Yeah, so that's how it's gonna be. Da 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 da. Da. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is great. So now let's add energy data. So we're gonna add energy data here. So let's have that particular. I'm gonna add a comment, I think. So we're gonna add energy data. Uh, sorry, I don't want to play. Sorry, they call it copyrighted music. I don't want to play people's copyrighted music. I don't want that. Yeah, I just want to play African music, which is African sound. Okay. Yeah, shouldn't be really loud. I just wanted to give me motivation here since most of you are not putting those hearts flying up and also liking. So, yeah. Yeah, so we are working on another function to basically add the energy data um, there. So, okay, so to add the energy data, so we basically need to get the values of the data generated and the data consumed. So self, we're gonna have the generated parameter, and then we can have the consumed parameter. So a lot is going on around there, but don't worry about that. Okay, so where are we? Let me make sure that I'm still streaming everything. Just need to refresh and look at the current session to be sure that I'm streaming. Okay, perfect. It's still on. It's not. It hasn't gone off. Okay, so what do we want to do here? So this one here adds. This one here basically adds daily energy uh, generated, daily energy generated, and consume data, the trackers. Yeah, so what do we want to do here? I love adding. Let me see. Okay, let's look at the generated. What do we want to do here with the generated? So we want to find out the amount of energy, amount of energy. People should stop. Let me close my phone. Type of energy generated for the day. So that's why I always do not disturb most cases. But because I'm trying to pay attention to people going off and on the stream, that's why you see me looking on different areas. Okay. So this one is going to be the amount of energy, amount of energy consumed for the day. Yeah. And I think let's raise also a value error. Um, let's raise a value error. And why? Let's raise this if the, let's get the generated or the consumed. The generated or the consumed say values are negative. Yeah, that's what we should do. It should be perfect. I think we should only do that. Shouldn't do a lot. Okay. So now let's move forward. So here we're gonna do. We're gonna say if generated. Remember, we are dealing with the generated first. If generated, if the generated is less than zero, oh, we can add. Wow, what's wrong with my keyboard? Oh, okay. All consumed. It's my keyboard. Consumed. I use a rechargeable keyboard, so so when the battery is dropping because I'm taking long without charging it, starts to play around. Yeah, it's a wireless rechargeable keyboard, the one I use. So if generated less than zero or consumed is less than zero, then I don't see what we're doing here. We basically raise a value error. And what should this particular error say? It should say energy values. Values must be be, what's wrong with these? Must be, um, must be non-negative. Non-negative, yeah. So that's what we should say. Let me see. Else. So else we initialize and say self dot daily generated, and we want to add to the list. Remember, we created lists over here, so that means we need to introduce a function called append, so that we can append inside the list. So what we want to append there is the value that you have, the new value you know for the generated. So we add it to the list, and we could also do self dot daily. I'm about to use my laptop. Self dot daily consumed. Yeah, I think it's battery with my wireless, but don't worry about that. It still has some bit of time to keep us going. So consumed. So that's perfect. Yeah. So so let's go down. Where are we? Even if I run this, nothing will happen. Code is perfect. I don't have errors. So I'll just clear here, and then I proceed. What else do you want to do? I think everything is good right there. So I think we can now calculate. We can calculate, let's say, the efficiency. Yeah, the energy efficiency, and I think we can calculate it as a percentage. So we do define. So def is basically define, but we do def. So we're looking for efficiency. So remember, we are working under a class, so it should be self. And I know very many people who are having companies, software development companies, are like, "What's wrong with this guy? This guy is now revealing everything. What else are we going to teach people? Since people can get everything from his channel." So this calculates the energy. Sorry about you guys, energy efficiency is because I hate the way you mentor people. You teach students, and when they come back to university, there is no difference with the person who stayed at the university. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, calculates the energy efficiency as percentage. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's what I say. Um, Let me see. What else can we do? We need to return something here. So what should we return? Energy efficiency. I like what this person is saying. Calculated. I'm reading comments from the other social platforms, and someone is saying something very interesting. Some people are just naturally funny. Energy efficiency calculated as total generated. So we're going to do total generated minus the total consumed, just to understand that difference. Total consumed. This is efficiency. So that means we need to divide. Um, we need to divide by. We need to divide by the total generated. It's a percentage. So yeah, total generated um, times total consumed. Consumed. Yeah, hope I get the math right. So you can correct me if I don't get the math right. No, I think here I go wrong. I think times 100. I think this has to be 100. Yeah, it is total generated minus the total consumed. So we get a difference over the total generated times 100%. Yeah, so I think this is the math. Yeah, I think that's the math. I think this is the math. So let me lock here so that you can see everything. I think that's the math. I think that's the math. Let's do it and see the results anyway. The results will tell us, but that's the math. Okay, so now let's write, let's do our total initialize, auto generated. we're gonna say this is equal. So we say this is equal to the sum of self dot daily. It's gonna be daily daily generated daily. It's gonna be the energy generated. Yeah, daily energy generated over here, which is already appended. So we're gonna have total consumed equals to the sum of what's wrong with me? Self dot daily energy consumed. Yeah, I have a friend. He teaches architecture, and he got people to sit on a stream for over 7 hours because they're working on a structure. I think we're gonna do the same on robotics. I think we're gonna work on a robotics module. Yeah, I'm gonna get that stream for the robotics. Yeah, so that we work on a simulated module. So anyway, return total generated. We say total generated minus the total consumed. So we say divided by the total uh, generated times 100. Uh, we can add something here and say that if the total generated else 0. Yeah, should be perfect. Should be perfect. Da 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 da. If yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's go from here. We're going down. We're going down. So what else should we do here? So I think we can end this one here. Yeah, I think we can end this one here. Yeah, let me leave it here. If I run this, everything is good. Yeah, I don't have an error. So later in the tomorrow session, I'll be doing the integration, and you'll actually be seeing how everything comes about. Yeah, but before that, we're gonna create a new file. We're gonna write on the integration file. Yeah, so that's gonna be the last one, and then tomorrow we're going to integrate these three together, and tweak a few things around. So hope everything is still rhyming with you, and hope you're actually following. You're welcome. There's somebody here who has come on the session. And it's like, hey, hello everybody. Yeah, hello, happy to see you. Feel at home, and we are basically going to work on the last. We're gonna be working on the last file. So this file is basically gonna be called. I'm very sure very many people are gonna be coming back to this to make sure that they get everything right. So I want to complete it for them. So this is gonna be called. It's gonna be the integrated tracker. So that tracks both the files. So integrated tracker dot py. Yep. So that's what we're gonna have now, just to make sure everything is good. So let's write this very fast. I'm gonna be a little bit fast. So to integrate these files together, we're gonna need to import from all the different files. So we're gonna um, say from agriculture produce. So we are now importing from agriculture produce.py. So from agriculture produce, we want to import. So you have to just make sure that you're communicating from the same. So we want to import. Agriculture produce. Da, da, da. So agricultural. So agricultural, right from there. So this one is basically telling you that we want to come into here and then we import your particular class agricultural produce. So in the tracker. So that's what we're doing. And we can do the same and say from solar energy usage, we want to import the class. So this is how we import classes: solar energy usage class. So that's what we do. So that's what we do, just like that. Yeah. So okay. So let me see how long we've moved to reach this particular part. Oh, so 76 minutes ago. Okay, so I think let me get this done so that I don't have it on the plate, and then tomorrow we're gonna go through all the files, make sure everything is good, and then tweak a little things around to just make sure everything is clean. I can also stop here and we pick on tomorrow. That's also fine, Yeah, but it's been an amazing session, really. It's been really, really amazing to be that we've come from far to come here. So yeah, so I think um, I'm gonna stop this session on the integration so that tomorrow we start from the integration. At least we got the two pieces clean. We got the two pieces clean. So we've introduced classes, and sorry about this. And it doesn't matter. So we've introduced classes. I'm gonna reduce my screen right now. Yeah. So we introduced classes and we wrote functions within the classes. Everything clean. We introduced validations with value errors as reports. If something is wrong, then we did the same thing for the solar. Uh, put everything down up to down, so everything is clean here. And then we're creating an integrated tracker, and we're saying that if you want to communicate to this particular, and now we are importing the class, and we're importing the class here. We're saying from that particular file, we want to import this particular class, and then later you're going to see how we can use values within the class and how we can take everything down. And trust me, you'll appreciate and say back end development is easier than the front end, because the back end you just play around with things and things are happening the way you want. So in the agricultural produce, we basically initialize, introduce parameters, as you can see in here, that we want to deal with. So we initialized them, the type of produce and the price per unit, and then later we set the quantity to 0 because we're going to be calculating that. Then later we went on to set the quantity to check and say that the quantity shouldn't be a negative value. If yes, then you're going to receive a message saying the quantity should be a positive value, and then we calculate the revenue, which we can build on further. Then the solar energy, same thing. We initialized an instance of the solar energy usage to track the daily energy data. We initialized everything as a list because we want to record data here. We want to record data here for the daily consumption. Then after that, we also did some bit of validation, and then we did an append function where we append the new values of the generated data and the consumed data on the energy consumed daily inside the lists that we have set over here. And then we go down and calculate the efficiency. So we calculate the efficiency with our formula of total generated minus total consumed over total generated times 100%. And if the total generated, then 0. If there is no any kind of data generated, then it should return a 0. So thank you all for being part of this stream today. I really appreciate having you all. I know some of you might be wanting me to proceed, but I think it's been enough for today. Since we had a first part and this is a second part, you have two things to consume to watch back and forth and make sure everything is clean. So you can ask me anything before I drop off. Hello. Yeah, I'm very good at reading something and I speak it on the mic. Hello. Yeah, surely. So we can actually get to stop here. Okay, so stream of tomorrow, Tuesday, is gonna be at 8 p.m. We're actually getting used to this stream, so this is great. This is great. Yeah, this is really great. We're getting used to the streams. So the stream tomorrow, Tuesday, is gonna be at 8 p.m. Let me inform whoever watches. Yeah, so just sending in a message to, and I'm requesting everybody who is streaming from all the different streaming platforms we on Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn. Basically, come to the YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It's called Achilles Acacia, the same. It's called Achilles Acacia. So basically, subscribe so that you're not left behind, so that everything is really clear with you. When I schedule tomorrow's stream, so that it comes to you right away, and you don't have to wait for a link or look for the links and you don't find them. But you'll actually get it as soon as I get to schedule it. So hope I if there is no question, then I'm about to close. I'm just making sure that I'm having the right data, um, and then I'll be leaving it to upload, and you're gonna have everything to you the way it is. So thank you all, and right now I'll be wishing you, should I say, a great morning, a great evening, a great afternoon from wherever you are. We had so many people who are streaming from Qatar. Some people are streaming from that is the United Arab Emirates side, Dubai. People streaming uh, from um, from the global north, from Canada, USA, and those people streaming from UK, streaming from Australia. So from whatever is streaming in Europe, in Africa, South Africa, we had a few people, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. I appreciate you so much. South Sudan, quite a number of you. I really appreciate you all, and hope to see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. and you'll get everything spot on. So do not forget to like, subscribe, and share to your friends, because this is what they need to become better. And you'll never receive such content in classes. You never receive it from boot camps, but you can only get it from here. So thank you so much. Have a great time, and bye bye. Do not forget to subscribe and hit that button right there. Bye bye.